This is NDDC Today.
Hello and welcome to the program. Every region that is seen today to be developed or developing anywhere in the world is as a result of the holistic and disciplined implementation of a pre-planned development strategy driven with passion to succeed. This seemed to be the thinking of the fifth governing board of the NDDC. The Commission seemed relentless in its pursuit of this. Every week on NDDC Today, we take you around the Niger Delta to update you on how the NDDC is carrying out the development mandate of the Commission across the Niger Delta. Now, highlights of today's package. NDDC partner Cross River State planned construction of a 14.5-kilometer access way to Bekasi Deep Seaport. The MDCO in Sima Ekere commissions road project in Cross River State. NDDC Nexim Bank to set up a 5 billion naira export development fund. And more updates on the emergency road repair project of the NDDC, this time in Cross River State. These and more when we return. I am Patrick Oke. Welcome back. The board and management of the NDDC, led by Chairman Senator Victor Udoma Egba, SAN, were at the Cross River State Government House, Calabar, recently on a courtesy call on the Cross River State Governor, Professor Ben Ayade. Now, the visit afforded both the NDDC and the Cross River State Government the opportunity to discuss in detail the proposed partnership for the construction of the 14.5-kilometer accessway from Calabar to Bekasi Deep Seaport. Our correspondent was there and sent in this report.
The Cross River State Governor, Professor Ben Ayade, has stressed the importance of collaboration between the Niger Delta Development Commission NDDC and different levels of government in the development of the Niger Delta region. Governor Ayade spoke when members of the board and management of NDDC, led by its chairman, Senator Victor Udoma Egba, paid him a courtesy visit at Government House in Calabar recently. Welcoming his visitors to State House, Governor Ayade lauded President Muhammadu Buhari for appointing Senator Udoma Egba and Obong Nsema Ekere, both whom he described as young, smart and intelligent people who can see tomorrow. He further appealed to the NDDC to support the state government in the development of the signature projects in the state. He specifically called for the Commission's collaboration in the 14.5-kilometer accessway from Calabar to the Bekasi Deep Seaport.
If we're also supposed to use this opportunity to share thoughts on what we consider our signature projects that you should carry on board. The Cross River State is embarking on two major projects that have presidential approval, that has the spiritual and emotional commitment of Mr. President, the Deep Seaport and the Superhighway. We want NDDC to partner with us. Perhaps it will interest you to know that the federal government has just approved a transition advisor for the Bekasi Deep Seaport. In the next 2 weeks, there will be massive mobilization to commence preliminary reclamation works and dredging works at the Bekasi Deep Seaport. The project is real.
Affirming that the Commission has agreed in principle to partner with the state government to actualize the feat, the NDDC chairman, Senator Udoma Egba, told the governor that the Commission was working with a new attitude for collaboration. He pleaded that the NDDC should not be judged by its actions in the past.
Let our relationship not be driven by politics. Let it rather be driven by a common agreement for development to our people. Let us play the politics of development and not politics for the sake of politics. So, Your Excellency, through you to your colleagues, I want to appeal that the seeming hostility to NDDC is totally needless, totally unnecessary. we can forge a relationship that is mutually reassuring and mutually beneficial to all concerned. And that is the spirit we have come here today.
Senator Ndoma Egba told the governor that it had become necessary to revive the advisory committee of the commission because the NDDC must work with the government of the member states to ensure that all stakeholders work in harmony. He further highlighted some of the new plans of the commission for the Niger Delta region.
This board is being judged based on the sins of our fathers. We are contemplating, in fact, we've not contemplated, we've gone beyond contemplation because the board has approved it. We have engaged a consultant, a project coordinator, for the setting up of a Niger Delta Development Bank that will fund development of the region beyond oil. If the headquarters of that bank can be in Calabar, it will be a lifelong achievement for us. The second initiative we have started is we want to ring the Niger Delta region with fiber optics so that we can deepen internet penetration and speed and available broadband.
Explaining the importance of the deep sea port as a major project that has a very positive impact on the socio-economic life of not just Calabar, but Cross River and the entire region, Managing Director of the Commission, Obong Nsima Ekere, said that they had identified the quick driver that will kickstart this project in the access road, which the NDDC have agreed to construct in collaboration with the Cross River State Government.
We are encouraged today because the government of Cross River State, and indeed Mr. Governor, has spoken glowingly about the need for further collaboration. Your Excellency, I want to assure you that we shall go backwards, we shall think again and re-engineer our processes so that we can give a little bit more to Cross River State.
Still in Cross River State, the MD of the NDDC, Mr. Nsima Ekere, has commissioned road project in Cross River State. The tour afforded the Managing Director the opportunity to access the progress and impact of some ongoing projects on ground in the state. The report.
The Managing Director of NDDC, Mr. Nsima Ekere, along with the Chairman of the Governing Board of the NDDC, Senator Victor Ndoma Egba, inspected the work being done on the failed and eroded Adam Duke Street, Abasi Obori Lane, which is one of the NDDC's emergency road repair projects in Cross River State. After inspecting the work carried out on the Adam Duke Road, the Chairman and the MD took a walk to see the progress and standard of work on the canal, which, when completed, will channel water away from the surrounding homes.
I'm not very pleased with the quality of the work you're doing. So I think that's something that you really can try to improve on. These are the things that give NDDC a bad name when the contractors don't do the right thing. That's why our supervision and staff should be very careful.
Replying, the site engineers acknowledged the MD's observations and promised to deliver the project on schedule with all the necessary amendments. Residents of Twin Street, Asukwo Ekpo and Asukwo Nyong Street, all in Calabar South Local Government Area of Cross River State, trooped out to welcome the Managing Director of the Niger Delta Development Commission, Mr. Nsima Ekere, to the official commissioning of their roads. These streets, which were practically impassable for a very long time, are among some of the road projects that NDDC have completed in Cross River State. In his welcome address, the clan head, Atinyin Morris Henshaw, thanked the Niger Delta Development Commission for the wonderful repair work done on the three roads. The MD of the Niger Delta Development Commission NDDC, who was visibly impressed by the warm reception, informed the residents that the project was awarded 3 years ago but abandoned by the contractor until recently, when the contractor was brought back to finish the work. He also thanked the residents of the three streets for their cooperation and support given to the contractor to help finish the project on time, and encouraged other areas to emulate them.
About 3 other projects that have been captured for this community and the environs. My joy will be complete when I come back to commission those ones. I must also thank you for the peaceful way you have conducted yourself, the support you even gave to the contractor. The contractor did not report to us that he was molested by the community. He said that you, the kings, the chiefs, the youth, the women, that you were very hospitable.
The managing director then commissioned the roads for the advancement and use by the residents of Twin Street, Asukwo Ikpo, Asukwo Nyong Street in Calabar South Local Government Area of Cross River State.
I commissioned this road for the use of these people in the name of God the Father, Amen. God the Son, Amen. And God the Holy Spirit. Amen.
In order to create jobs in export trading, the NDDC and Nexim Bank have reached an agreement to set up a 5 billion naira export development fund. This fact was made known when a delegation of Nexim Bank visited the MD at the NDDC of the Commission's headquarters in Port Harcourt recently. Our correspondent was there. The MD NDDC, Mr. Nsima Ekere, said that the NDDC as an interventionist agency needed to leverage on Nexim Bank to tackle the challenges of creating jobs and building sustainable development programs for youths in the Niger Delta. Mr. Ekere assured that the NDDC would set up a technical team to work out the modalities for setting up hubs for regional exports in the Niger Delta.
I want to restate on behalf of the board and management of NDDC our willingness to partner with Nexim to create a regional export development initiative for our region. And that's why we are here partnering with you today to ensure that we develop an export development fund for the Niger Delta region so that we can begin to use the natural resources that God has blessed us with in this region. We can begin to exploit them, process them, and export them, and bring the needed revenue into the Nigerian economy.
The Commission's boss said that the NDDC had entered into agreement with several international and local partners, noting that the collaboration with Nexim Bank would be an addition to the existing ones. The Executive Director, Business Development of Nexim Bank, Honorable Stella Okotete, stressed the importance of building a platform for viable export markets for the Niger Delta region, adding that there was need to create awareness for a regional export initiative. Okotete said that the federal government had a deliberate policy to encourage non-oil exports, especially in agriculture and solid minerals. She affirmed the commitment of Nexim Bank to increase the flow to non-oil export basket and promote export initiatives at regional levels.
We at Nexim thought it wise to come up with an export development fund that would give a matching fund with your support to ensure that we drive a new export market from our region. We can do it.
Is the NDDC still poised to liberate the Niger Delta from the throes of underdevelopment and poverty?
The core mandate of the Commission is to facilitate the rapid and sustainable development of the Niger Delta region.
There have been recent initiatives by Mr. President, so we can see a new sense of urgency to quickly address the agitations in the region.
As it swings into action, consolidating earlier gains, providing remedial infrastructures, charting new development paths, the NDDC continues to engage stakeholders, development partners, to achieve a long-held dream.
We extend an invitation to development partners and to other stakeholders to collaborate with us to deliver shared value to the people of the Niger Delta region.
The NDDC, poised to make a real difference.
In the last couple of weeks, we'll be following up on the efforts of the NDDC to rehabilitate failed roads in the Niger Delta. Today, we bring the series almost to a conclusion on the emergency road repair project in Cross River State.
Cross River State. The nation's paradise is one of the Niger Delta states in Nigeria that epitomizes the nation's linguistic and cultural plurality with a beautiful, clean and calm state capital, Calabar. Cross River prides itself as being the venue of the largest carnival in Africa. The Calabar Festival has gotten the attention of the Niger Development Commission, the NDDC. The emergency road repair project in the Niger Delta region, embarked upon by the Niger Delta Development Commission, take us to some of the ongoing and completed road repair projects in streets, communities and local government areas in Cross River State, as NDDC continues in its drive to connect villages, towns and communities through the reconstruction and repair of roads in Cross River State. A stop in Calabar South Local Government Area gives an insight to the work being done by the Niger Delta Development Commission on the failed and eroded Adam Duke Streets, Abasiobori Lane, which even at the stage of repair work is already bringing smile to the faces of the residents of the area who have openly identified with the project. The road before now was terrible, and residents and road users were subjected to incessant flooding, diseases and even deaths. While commending and thanking the NDDC for its timely intervention on the road, the clan head of the community stressed that the adjoining roads should not be left out to avoid facing the same problem all over. According to the site engineer, the cooperation of the residents with the workers since work commenced on the site has been tremendous. The standard of work being done by NDDC here, when completed, is expected to positively impact on the social and economic lives of the residents in and around the Adam Duke Street, Abasiobori Lane. The Okoninok Street in Calabar Municipality local government area also got the attention of the NDDC Emergency Road Repair Project. The Okonikon Road was in a terrible state with potholes that made it difficult for commuters to navigate easily, especially during the rainy season. Now, with the repairs completed, the residents' joy and appreciation for the repairs carried out on the road is summarized by the clan head. The NDDC Emergency Road Repair Project on the 4.5-kilometer failed section of the Calabar-Ikom Road could not have come any time sooner. The people in the communities of Ohana and Ochon along the Calabar-Ikom Road can only continue to give thanks to the Niger Delta Development Commission for their timely intervention in the repairs of the road, which has caused them untold hardship due to several potholes that made human movement and moving of goods and produce between both the communities and other connecting areas extremely difficult, if not impossible. With the completion of the repair work on the road, good times have suddenly returned to the residents and road users in Ohana, Ochon and surrounding communities, as the lengthy time spent by the people in moving from one end to the other has greatly been reduced. According to the site manager, the project was completed within 4 months due to the cooperation the workers got from the people of the surrounding communities. The residents of Obubra, a local government area in Cross River State, which is home to the Ibrahim Babangida College of Agriculture and the National Youth Service Corps Cross River State Orientation Camp, situated in Obubra village, have been battling with the 3.5-kilometer Obubra Junction Road to Obubra Stadium. This road, which was practically rendered useless due to its many potholes that seriously hampered the free-flow vehicular and human traffic from Obubra Junction to the Obubra Stadium, attracted the attention of the NDDC's Emergency Road Repairs Project. The repair work, which is now at its final stage, when completed, is expected to bring joy and happiness to both road users and residents. The repair of the 3-kilometer Ofat Ababina to Oderaga Junction Road is another completed NDDC project under the Emergency Road Repair Project. This completed road with drainages has brought respite to the residents of the surrounding communities who before now have been faced with the challenges of erosion and flooding of their homes. It is expected that with the completion of this road, the communities will now continue to grow both socially and economically. The NDDC Urgent Repair of Roads projects in Cross River has seen to the completion of a 1.2-kilometer section of the Akpabuyo-Ikang Road in Akpabuyo-Bakassi local government area. The economic life of the people here was at a standstill before the intervention of the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC, which have helped once again to bring smiles to the faces of residents along this stretch of road. Since its completion, commercial activities have sprung back to life and the joy of the people is endless.
The road is accessible now. Vehicles can convey their various goods to destinations, you understand? You see a lot of trucks moving from various places to wherever they are distributing their goods to. At least there had been no problem. We are okay, very comfortable with the road as compared to how it was before.
Ugep, the headquarters of Yako local government area in Cross River State, a town populated by the Yako people, is well known for its Leboku New Yam Festival and believed to be the largest village in Africa by landmass, is another beneficiary of the NDDC's Emergency Road Repair Project. This 2-kilometer section of the road from Ugep leading to Ediba in Cross River State and eventually to Afikpo and Abakaliki in Ebonyi State was in such a terrible state, bringing the residents and road users pain and bad memories before the NDDC came to the rescue. The residents of this community have had to contend with a road that caused the breakdown of vehicles, accidents, and flooding of the residents' homes. Some of the road users and residents also talked about the state of the road before now and how it has been transformed to what it is now. with the efforts and assistance of the NDDC. The cordial relationship that exists between the Niger Delta Development Commission and Cross River State Government in particular has led to the successful completion of a number of projects in Cross River State. By the time these ongoing projects being carried out by the Niger Delta Development Commission under the emergency road repair projects in the Niger Delta region are completed in Cross River State, all the villages, communities and local government areas would have been connected by good and motorable roads to allow for accelerated development of Cross Riverians and the state at large. NDDC, with its commitment to the development of the entire Niger Delta region, will continue in its quest to make positive difference in the lives of the residents of all the Niger Delta states.
Little by little, the Niger Delta gets more motorable and more economically effective. Of course, there's always more to be done. But that concludes the size of our bulletin this week. Thank you for being with us. Don't forget to get in touch with us every time. Any information you may want or any suggestions you may want to make, we'll get them to those who will act on them. If you just, use the numbers you're seeing on the screen, call us or the Corporate Affairs Department of the NDDC. We'll be glad to hear from you. Thank you again for watching. We'll see you same time next week. Bye for now.